Does your current financial professional have you covered for the 4 big needs in retirement? Yeah, that's right. There's really 4 big needs. Let's talk about them. Number 1, you're going to want to use your retirement dollars for income. Everything starts with income. Number 2, you're going to want to have a plan for unplanned expenses, things that are outside of the normal income expenses you have. These are unplanned emergency expenses. You need to plan for that. How about this? Medical and long-term care expenses. You better be planning for that. And then for most people like myself, you want to plan for leaving money to someone else, your heirs, your beneficiaries. So think about this. When you've knocked out these 4 big factors in a retirement plan, income. So income comes every single month and it covers all the daily things you want to do in life. It should include a trip to the beach and things like that. Maybe it's not the huge expenses, but when your monthly income that comes in every single month, I like to think of it like mailbox money. It just shows up on the first of every month. Maybe you're married and you have a Social Security check coming in from 2 people. Okay, so we have Social Security, and then we have a pension if you're lucky enough to have one, or you've created a pension for yourself using retirement dollars, and your income needs have been met. All of a sudden, think about how the daily grind of doing life in retirement looks. It's so much easier when you know you've got everything covered for the month. All right, that second thing that is really important. Unplanned stuff that's just not in the normal budget. Oh my gosh, the roof started leaking and it turns out we need an entirely new roof or whatever it might be. Unfortunately, down in Florida, there was a lot of unplanned things just happened with the hurricane that happened recently. So unplanned expenses. So you're going to need retirement dollars, money set aside for unplanned expenses. Okay, so we've got that set aside. Now, how has your retail financial professional set you up for the medical side? According to a Fidelity study, the average 65-year-old couple needs to set aside $300,000 in retirement just to cover medical expenses outside of what Medicare pays for. We're not talking about long-term care. Oh, no. This is if you stayed healthy. During the course of a lifetime, the average couple will need approximately $300,000. And again, that's a study that Fidelity did. So you're going to have inside of your plan a way to cover unplanned medical expenses and long-term care. And I'm not telling you to rush out and buy long-term care insurance. Oh my gosh, it's a racket. They charge so much for that. But it doesn't mean we can avoid the idea and having a plan for what would happen if long-term care happened. And also, I want you to think of this. If long-term care does happen to you or your partner, where do you want to start that at? I can tell you personally, if long-term care comes to my plan, I want it right there in my home. And what I mean by this is my long-term care plan has me when I can't perform 2 of 6 activities of daily living. Now, if you ask Terry, my wife of 29 years, she'll say I'm already there because I think one of them is cooking and cleaning. But anyway, forget all that. But when I can't perform 2 of 6 activities of daily living by a licensed doctor, not by what Terry thinks, guess what happens? My plan kicks in and I can start receiving those benefits right in my castle, right in my own home, which is exactly where I choose to be if I ever get to that place in life. So number 3, you've got to have a plan for medical expenses and long-term care, and it doesn't always involve going and buying traditional long-term care insurance because, again, I think it's very overpriced and it becomes one of those out-of-control expenses inside of your income plan. And then for a lot of people, you want to leave a legacy. You want to know the best way to leave money to someone else. And when I think of leaving money to one of your loved ones, you want to do it without leaving a string attached. Here's what I mean by that. When you leave money to one of your loved ones, a non-spouse, let's say your son or daughter, and you do it through an IRA or some other form of qualified funds, meaning you've never paid tax in that account, they receive the money with a big string attached. Think about it. Under current tax rules, when they inherit your IRA, They must fully liquidate that account within a 10-year time span. And there's already been legislation proposed that would mean they'd want to shorten that. If you left them over $500,000, they'd want to shorten that time span to 5 years. Why are they doing that? Because when you must distribute it, when the inheritant, the person getting the money, must take the money within a shorter time span, it's going to add to the taxation and force them into a higher tax bracket. So our Uncle Sam, our favorite uncle, the government, gets a larger portion of what they've inherited. So you're actually leaving your beneficiaries a gift with a string attached. Your plan should include how to leave money the way you want them to get it, without some big string attached. And all these things can be accomplished when you have a no compromise retirement plan. You deserve it, you need it, and it's available to you. But it's often not found with those big box retail firms.